Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are hearing me. Can you hear me well? Good?
We can hear you.
Great, great. Thank you guys for being here with us. Thank you, Long Depot. And thank you for Florida Closing and Escrow for always being with us and help us with our meetings. Thank you for your support, guys. We really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody else to be here. It's going to be a great meeting. I'm going to start it by talking about something that some agents has been asking me, and then this week I got two texts from agents asking me how to find commercial listings in special multifamilies. And in one of our meetings in our office, I was showing you guys that our MLS, the normal MLS, it's not the best way to find commercial, especially multifamilies. So the best way is to go through Loopnet, and that's what we're going to see today. Okay, I'm going to show you how to access Loopnet, how to search, how to save your search, create a PDF file, and send it to your clients. Okay, so that's how we're going to start it, and then we're going to go to agreements. And then I will give to Loan Depot in Florida Escrow. And if we have a time, I'm going to talk with something very special, very good. It's about controlling and use contacts on Form Simplicity. They made a great improvement and help us a lot, save a lot of time if we have our contacts in Form Simplicity when we work on transactions. And I'm going to show you that to you as well. Okay, great. So with no more delays, let me share you my screen. Okay. Good. So the website is loopnet.com. Okay, so if you guys want to write it down, if you don't know this website yet, it's good to take a note of it. And you can create a free account. On a free account, you don't get access to all of the listings, but at least you can gain access to a lot more and a lot better information than you get it on MLS. So let's go. So this is the Loopnet. And let me move this to here. I'm gonna put this thing in here. Okay, so we're gonna sign in, and this is where you're gonna put your email and your password. If you don't know, then you need to create a password. If you don't have one, you need to create a password and a username. Okay. Now, for sale, that's what we're looking for. For sale, enter property type. So we're going to start looking for multifamilies. And I'm going to looking for multifamily in Broward. Broward County, Florida. And I'm going to do a search. Okay, so I already have all the multifamilies listed for sale. But now let's create a criteria to narrow down the results, okay? They have here like some criteria. If you need something more, then you can click on more filters. Then you can narrow down even more, okay? I'm gonna click on it, and then here you see. So county, if you want to include another county, you can put Miami-Dade. And then you're looking for in Broward and Miami-Dade. And price, let's say we're looking for something between 800,000 to $1.5 million. Search. So see, now narrow down a little more, but also increase the results because I included the Miami-Dade, included another county. So here is where you're gonna look into what you really want to send it to your clients. And with my experience work with investors, in general, for a multifamily, they don't want anything below 6% unless it's a great opportunity. So I'm always looking for something above 6% cap rate. In one of our meetings, I explained you guys how to calculate the cap rate. And I'm going to do that if you guys request it. Some of you was not on the meeting, so maybe you don't know. If you want to, please send me a text through Zoom. I want to see your text on the Zoom that you wanted me to go over how to calculate cap rate again. Okay. So this we have here, amazing great deals, 8 units in Little Haiti. So $1.495 million, and the cap rate is 8.25. So this looks like good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click here on this little heart, and I'm going to save it on my favorite. Okay. So I'm going to come down, and I'm going to looking for something similar. This one, it's not more than 60, but it's 6%. It might be a good deal. I need to look into the details of this list, so I want to save that one too. Okay, now this one says 5.36. I don't want that one. This is 4.76 also. I don't want to go through that. This is 7.46, but it's only 3 units. It might be a good deal, so I'm going to save that one too. The one that doesn't show what the cap rate is because they didn't provide the whole information. So then I need to contact the listing agent to get more information and to calculate the cap rate. Okay, so this is 4.8, don't want that. 502. $541, they get $592, 4 units. This is 4%, 423, 524, 6.16. Okay, it's four apartment building. So I'm going to save that one. Okay, you got the idea. We don't need to go through all the 3 pages with the results. All right, this says here that I have 59 results that meets my criteria. So I'm not gonna go through all of them because you already got the idea. That's what we're doing here. So what's gonna be our next step? Our next step is to go here on these 3 lines on the top left. And then you're gonna click on it, and then you see my favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my favorite. And here is the one I did today. That's the 11, which is this one here, has 8 properties. There's 8 property that I selected. Then I'm going to select this one here, and I'm going to click here, create report. Okay, I'm gonna use this template. It's a very good template. I don't need to change it. I always use this one here. It has all the details, information about the property, and also photos. If there's any photos, it will be included on this template. So that's why I always use this one. Now it's loading my report. Okay, now this is how it looks like. On the top, says you're prepared for, I can just come here and put the name of my investor. And because I have my profile set up on Loopnet, already shows here my information presented by Arlinda Machado from Remax Premium Homes. There's the logo of the company, my phone number, and my email. Okay. Now, if I want to include the map, because some people, they want to know where is it located, and then it will be easier for them to look in the map and find the location of this property instead of putting the address of the property on Google Maps to find out what it is. So I always included the map. and I update here. Okay, so you're gonna see this is the information for this fresh one here, has some pictures that's included on this report, and then it comes the second report, all the details information, you know, property description, you know, you have some highlights here. You have to go over the calculations. Some of them, they tell you what are the expenses in details. So then you're gonna make sure that the cap rate is really 6.74 based on the expenses that they listed. Okay, and then all here, so we go to the last page, so you see the map. Okay, property number 1 is located here in Miami, property number 4, 3, and so on. So you can see where they are located on the map. Now, I'm going to download this form 2 times, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm going to do that 2 times. Now that the report is done, I'm going to click on download. Creating a PDF file. And then I'm going to save on new folder here. Investor John Smith, example. And I'll save it. Now, why am I going to download it again? Because this listing, this report that I just downloaded, has my information, and that's the one I'm gonna send it to John Smith. But if John Smith tells me, Arlindo, I like the property number 2 and 7 and 6, and I want to make an appointment to see this property, I'm gonna have to go back to Loopnet and search it again to find out the contact information for the broker. So what I'm gonna do here is click on display listing broker name and logo. I'm gonna click on it and I'll update. So you see that here shows the listing information. Now I'm gonna remove it. So you look at this place here again, I'm gonna update it. So there's no information here. Now when I click on display listing broker and update, now I have the listing, and this is only from me. If he calls me and says, Arlindo, I want to go and get more information about the property number 1, then I open this report and I look into the listing agent and I give him a call, and I don't have to go back to Loopnet and search for it again to find it. So now I'm gonna go to download. And I will save as same name, but with the broker info at the end. So when I send an email to this investor, I'm going to send him this file, which doesn't have the listing agent information. And I will keep this one from you for future reference in case I need it. Okay? Now, if you guys have any question, write the question on the chat or speak up, and then I'll go over your request. Okay? Now, another thing that I want to show you is my profile. You want to make sure that your profile is up to date, because when you prepare the report, you saw my information there. It shows my email, my phone number, my name, my company name, and you need to update your information here, okay? Now, there's some information here that you can update, and some other information like this one here, look, you see it's disabled. I cannot update this information by myself. I need to request an update. And I did that a while ago when I changed the company. Remember, guys, we went through changing the name of the company, and I requested, and they did it in less than 24 hours. I sent them the information for the new company. I also attached the logo for the company, the address for the company, and they updated all the information in less than 24 hours. It's very active, the people that work for this company. Okay, so this is one thing you need to do. Look into the profile, update your profile before you start searching for property and creating reports. Okay, let me look into something here. See if anyone's in the chat. Yes, please, cap rates. I missed last meeting. All right, good, Nadia. I will prepare for next week, and we're going to be talking about how to calculate cap rates again. Now, another question that came to me, guys, I'm always trying to bring information that you are calling me and asking me about it. See, if 1, 2, 3 agents ask me, it's something that everybody has interest on it. Then I'm going to include that on our meeting, on the topic of our meetings. If you have something in mind, also, please send me an email and tell me, Olinda, I want to know more about this, and we'll find out. If I don't know, I'll learn. If I can learn, I'll invite someone to come here and do some presentations for you guys. The important thing is that we learn as much as we can so we can be more prepared to do the job that we need to do. Okay, so the next subject is about agreement. I'm going to tell you the scenario so you guys know what I'm going to be talking about. It's very common that we as agent, we partner with another agent. It could be a partnership inside the same company, or it could be a partnership with an agent that it doesn't belong to the same company that you belong. That's very common. I'll give you one example. One day I was showing an apartment on Jade Beach, and I was having a conversation with the agent at the unit, and he was telling me that his office is in Brickell, and he works out of the Brickell's office, but he has about 5 listings here in Sunny Isles. And he told me that many times he cannot make it to the showing because he has all his schedule ready for Brickell. So then we were walking toward the balcony, and when we get to the balcony, I point out my office, our office in the plaza. And I told him, look, my office is right there, and I work here. If you have any showing request that you can't make it, give me a call, and I will show the property for you. So we work it out at 20% if I show the property and the property is sold. That one in particular was $5.9 million. Let's say $6 million, 3%. To be 180,000, and 20% of that will be $36,000. Now, do I want to get $36,000 just to cross the street and show a property? Yes, every hour if it's possible. So it's very common that we partner with other agents in our field, but it's also very important to have the agreement in writing. And there's 2 agreements. One is very simple agreement that you find on Form Simplicity. And I'm going to drag this to our screen here. This is one very common agreement that you find in Form Simplicity. It's called commission agreement. And if we go through that, you're going to see here, you're going to put the name of the seller or landlord, and agrees that broker, let's say ABC Realty, the name of the agent, may show, and we'll use a diligent effort, check applicable to sell, lease the property located, and then you put the location of the property, and the prospect, and how much you guys agree on the commission. But once there's different type of agreement. You know, you might have a referral from an agent and you got a buyer's. The agent is referring you a buyer. Look, I can't work with this buyer, so I'm referring this buyer to you, and I want you to work with him. And I will give you 50%, or I'll keep 25 because I'm just referring the clients to you. And this works very well. But if we're looking at a client that might be making more than one transaction, maybe you're going to work together in a partnership to sell a property or to work with that seller in some different properties, and you want to make that in agreement. I have another one here. Let me minimize this. And that one that I showed you, you can find on Form Simplicity, okay? This one here, if you want it, I can send it to you. Put it on our chat that you wanted this agreement, and I will send them to you, okay? This is a lot more in details. You will protect better you and the other agent. Okay, let's look into this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it better. Okay, commission agreement. This commission agreement is entered into, then you're going to put the date between, it's going to be your company, Florida Limited Liability Company, hereafter referred as broker one, and then you're going to put the name of the other company, referred as broker two. It's hereby agreed that in the event that XYZ Group and John Smith, example in this would be like a company or one individual person, or any entity or individual related their purchase, then you're going to put whatever property that they are looking for, be a hotel or anything else. If it's not a purchase, if it's a sell, business in South Florida, a fee equal to, then you're going to put your agreement here. If you agree to 25%, it's 25%. If you guys are working together, then you're going to split 50-50. That's what you're going to put here. Of the commission and other compensation paid by the seller to broker one shall be paid to broker by broker one to broker two at the time of closing. The commission shall be paid only if, as and when the sale transaction between the seller and the buyer actually closes. That's a protection. If it doesn't close, so you're not entitled to a commission. In the event the transaction doesn't close for any reason whatsoever, broker two shall not be entitled to any commission or brokerage fee for such transaction, unless broker one receives commission or a brokerage fee from the cancellation. Then the percentage above applies to be shared between the brokers. Both brokers represent and warranty that they are duly registered and licensed Florida real estate brokers. I will tell you why this is very important. One of our agents, she called me last week, and she's representing a buyer that was referred by his father in Jacksonville. And he said that he is licensed. All right, so then you sign the agreement, and he's gonna sign this saying that he is registered and licensed in Florida. So that will release your responsibility if he's not. You know, if he's lying, you'll not be charged by sharing your commission to a non-licensed person. He signed the agreement. You can also ask, of course, for the copy of his licensing. And once you have his name, you can also go to myfloridalicense.com and input his name and find out that he's really licensed. Now, this agreement, it's established in the state of Florida, and if there is any legal action, it will be done in Miami-Dade County. The parties hereby agree that this agreement contains the entire understanding of the parties. There are no representation, covenants, warranties, or undertakings other than those expressly set forth in this agreement. This agreement may not be changed, altered, or modified except by an instrument in writing signed by the parties against whom enforcement of such change will be applied. Now, this is going to be the name of your company, and you sign it, the name of the other company, and the other company will sign. You keep a copy, you send a copy to your broker, and he's going to do the same thing, keep a copy and send a copy to the broker. So in my opinion, this commission agreement is way better than the one on Form Simplicity. I called Form Simplicity at the beginning of this week, asking them if they have a different type of commission agreement. They said, no, that's the only one we have. If you need something different, it's better to hire an attorney and get it. So that language that was used in that agreement is a perfect language, and we can use it anytime. Okay? If you want this copy of this file, put it on the chat that you want it, and I will be sending to you. Okay? Now, I will go over right now, pass this to Lori. Lori, how you doing, Lori? Lori, are you with us?
I am here. Hi, how are you?
Thank you again, Lori, for being with us. We always appreciate your support.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I'm going to transfer
Great.
I'm going to transfer the screen to you, the host to you.
Thank you.
And then you can continue. And then after, I'm going to send it to Anthony. And then we're going to be talking about contacts if we still have time. I'm just finding you here, Lori, on my listing.
Okay.
Yes, we got it.
Oh, good, good. Now let me go to the PowerPoint actually. Okay, great. You see the PowerPoint now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Lori Mindlin with Loan Depot. I'll only take a few minutes because each week we'll just focus on a topic in general. As you know, Loan Depot is the second largest mortgage banker in the country. We've kind of said that. And as a result, some of what I'm going to present today is us as a direct lender, which is always our preference to close loans in our own name nationwide. But we also broker, as you know, for tougher deals or deals outside the box, bank statement for national, jumbos maybe with lower scores, condotels, that kind of thing, okay? So there are four most popular loan types you're familiar with: Fannie, Freddie, government, FHA, VA, conventional, jumbo, and the non-QM, which is, as I had mentioned, when we act as a mortgage broker with a wholesale lender. Those are lenders that clients cannot go to direct. They have to go through a mortgage banker / mortgage broker. And we have at least 20 wholesale companies that we broker to. But again, we like to be the direct lender in most cases. You're familiar with Fannie and Freddie, of course. With COVID, there have been a few adjustments. Not too many, but there have been a few. Still a 620 minimum score, as little as 3% down. We're very good with down payment assistance. I'm helping someone in the city of Fort Lauderdale with $75,000 down payment assistance. Another person buying in Oakland Park Dade for $15,000. So just know that even with COVID, there are down payment assistance programs either with the state, the city, or the county still available with funds to even pay for that 3%. So literally someone could get into a house with very little money of their own, okay? Now, and that's great. Ratios will depend on credit score, of course, okay? Prior to COVID, we're doing down to 520 on FHA, which is why this says this. Perhaps when everything settles down, FHA will lower that again, but FHA raised that. So the minimum score for FHA is now 620. Very lenient guidelines on reserves and ratios. VA, as you know, is 100% financing. Again, the score will vary depending on how things play out with COVID. But very lenient guidelines. If someone's a veteran, it's a great program. We have jumbo loans still. As far as how aggressive, it'll depend on their score as well. So just keep in mind right now, with some of the COVID changes, that will vary, but overall, we're an excellent jumbo lender. As I mentioned, non-QM for bank statement, foreign nationals, quasi hard money. Okay. Now, the pre-approval process is free and it's quick and easy overall. Sometimes, needless to say, we need some basic documentation to make sure that pre-approval is correct for you, but and for you and the client as you start looking for homes. So thank you for your time, and please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on our team anytime. Thank you.
Great, Lori. Thank you very much for your presentation.
I just did.
Amazing, amazing, awesome.
Great. Thank you all.
Lori, can I pick your brain a little bit?
Of course.
Great, great. Lori, I have a few questions that some agents always ask me. We always talk about it, but it's good to hear from you. Now, how difficult it is to get an FHA loan on a condominium?
On a condominium?
Yes.
Right. I believe there are 6 approved condos in Miami, for example, and maybe 6 or 7 in Broward County that have FHA approval. Mm-hmm. So ideally, and if you don't know how to look that up, I can send you the link for that. It would be a great idea to focus on one that already has an FHA approval on it. There's a lot more buildings approved for VA, a lot more. And I can send you that. There's, I think, hundreds that have VA approval if you have a veteran. So there is something called spot FHA approval that started again. At one time prior to the crash, it was easy to get spot FHA approvals done on condos. That went away with the crash for many years. The spot approvals came back, but they are extremely difficult to get done. We would certainly try if you have someone, but I hear it's very difficult and the requirements very strict with the condo.
So you said about 6% of the buildings are approved by FHA, right?
No, there are 6. Literally only 6.
Okay, so
left.
Basically 90.9% of the buildings are not FHA approved. And that
Correct.
means that we cannot have a loan on those buildings.
Right. However, that's not so bad now, because now that we're 12 years past the crash, the conventional guidelines allow us to do 3 to 5% if it's a primary purchase on a conventional loan, if it's a healthy building. Or we could also do a first and a second. Let's say for a moment there's an issue with reserves or delinquencies or other that makes it a problem, then we could, in some cases, do a combination of a first and a second if it's a primary home purchase to do a limited review. So that would help. We can also do it as a second home, conventional, with 10% down, and if an investment property, 20% down.
The only difference then, if they go for a convention, is that the credit score minimum will be 620, not 580.
Well, FHA has changed their scores now since COVID to 620.
Oh, really?
Yes, they have.
Good to know. Yeah, because the in your presentation it was still a 580 for FHA.
Well, I think I mentioned, yeah, and so that presentation is prior to COVID,
Mhm.
but we actually went down to 520 prior to COVID.
All right.
But
So,
FHA,
20 with 10%, not 3.5.
correct, yeah.
All right.
But now it's 620.
Now, what would you suggest? What would be your advice to our agents if they have a client that is approved for FHA and they're looking for a condominium? What would you tell us?
To focus on, if possible, on the 6 buildings that are already approved in Miami, or the 6 to 9. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. In Broward, that would be ideal.
And it would be a good suggestion to try to change their mind to purchase a house instead.
No, I would actually, what would be ideal is to let me speak with the client and determine if we can do a conventional loan for them with as little as 3% down.
All right, great.
I mean, FHA requires 3.5. So I guess the first step is, let's see is there any other option versus FHA?
Okay, good, great.
Even though FHA is a great program.
Mm-hmm. Now, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
We had situations in the past. One of our agents was representing a couple on purchasing an apartment here in Sunny Isles.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were approved on the loan. The negotiation with the price was done at the buyer's satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got a contract. And the buyers were so happy. So what they did to celebrate, they went to BMW and they bought 2 BMWs, one for the husband and one for the wife. So what happened is that increased the liability and decreased the credit score. So the loan was denied, that it couldn't purchase. What would be your advices to our agents to help protect our buyers' credit during the process of closing?
Right.
What can you tell them? How can we educate the buyers
Mm-hmm.
to don't do anything until the closing?
Right. Actually, it is really important for your agents to tell them to not do anything with regard to credit during that process of buying a home. It is something that I let them know right up front to please not do that as well. So just the best we can do is do the coaching on their side and also on my side. Mm-hmm. And don't, in addition to that, if someone does have a little bit lower credit score, we do have a wonderful program simulator where we can, try to look at different scenarios for them to quickly or in a reasonable time get their score up. And we offer, in some cases, a rapid rescore, and we pay for that instead of asking the client to.
Oh, great idea. Can you repeat that again, please?
Yes, we have a wonderful program. It's a simulator that allows us to, a what if scenario to allow us to kind of coach or assist clients. Well, if you pay this down, your score can go up, or you pay this off. Sometimes just being added as an authorized user to someone's credit card, depending on the credit card they're being added to, can help boost the score. And if it makes sense, we can do a rapid rescore, which takes in some cases 2 to 3 days. And it does cost a fair amount of money, but Loan Depot does pay for that.
That was the best information. So it will be free of cost to the borrower.
Correct, yeah.
Very good, great. Thank you for your information.
Okay.
I had one more question that's, it's in everybody interesting. We know the majority of the transactions are condominiums, and we know that there are many buildings that they don't have reserves. And the majority of the lenders, they require a 25% down payment if there is no reserves, because that will reduce the amount of questions on the kind of questionnaires that the lender submitted to the association. Now, Loan Depot, what type of program Loan Depot has that we will allow the loan on buildings that doesn't have the reserves?
Okay. Well, what we do is we do a combination loan if possible. If you do a first and a second, keeping the first at 75% and a second mortgage for the difference, then we not only avoid a full review of the condo, we avoid all of those, most of the issues that could possibly that come up with condos. Now that's a primary home purchase though, okay? Not a second home or investment property purchase. Prior to COVID, we were able to do vacation homes, a combo of a first and second, but at this exact moment we cannot. But as things start to open up, as they're opening up and stabilizing, I think that that will come back where we'll be able to do a combination of a first and second also on a vacation home condo purchase. So that's one way to avoid it. If it's strictly just investment property, then they need to put 25 and I believe, and I'll look at the updated guidelines, but I think 30% if it's purely investment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One more question that happens a lot in our office, especially here in Sunny Isles, are foreigners. So a while ago, the minimum down payment for a condominium was 35 and for a house was 30. What are the programs that you have for foreigners? What will be the minimum down payment for a condominium and the minimum down payment for a house?
Okay. Right now with COVID, we do have approximately 8 different outlets for wholesale outlets for foreign nationals. During the whole epidemic, they pretty much went away, but now everything's starting to stabilize and come back. Sometimes that varies. If a foreign national has actually a social security number and credit, maybe they came here to do their studies, their college, or for one reason, it's a little more flexible than if someone has no social at all and no credit. So that, or social, and so that varies. Typically, you're looking at least 25% down, maybe even more, but it's really case by case. We always have to look at the OPAC list to see, if the country is on the, that sanction list, and then we can't do the financing, of course. So I would just say, call, speak to us, and we'll reach out to our wholesale outlets on that.
So what to be
a lot of times we see even 40 or 50% needed down right now.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's basically a case by case.
Yes.
Okay. Lori, thank you so much for your answers, for your information. Guys, if you have any question for Lori, please speak up. Ask your questions. I know there's a lot about mortgages that bias comes with the different questions, and now it's a good opportunity for us to address those questions to people that knows about it. Anyone? All right, Lori, thank you very much for your information. Really appreciate that. I'm going to transfer now to Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great, Anthony. Do you need to make any presentation?
No, I don't need this screen share.
Okay, great. So, all yours. Thank you very much again for your for being here with us and sharing some information with our agents. Thank you.
All right, thank you for having me. I just wanted to give 2 quick legal updates. The first one is that in addition to gyms and beaches opening up this week, short-term vacation rentals are also now open for business. So the state of Florida approved the reopening plans for Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. They're open. They must follow the provided guidelines that include social distancing and sanitation guidelines recommended by the CDC. And secondly, I just wanted to also mention that the ban on evictions and foreclosures is still in effect through July 1st. In order to avoid a flood of evictions come that time, it would be best for landlords and tenants to open up some lines of communications, maybe come to some sort of payment arrangements. The eviction ban does not mean that you're not supposed to pay the rent. It just means that you cannot be evicted for it during this time. So the rent is still due. So we recommend contacting, tenants, and for tenants to contact landlords to try to resolve that in anticipation of that July 1st end date. So those are just the two quick updates that we had for this week that I wanted to share with you. Again, Arlindo, thanks for having me, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So from now on, the Florida, Miami-Dade and Broward are open for short-term rentals.
Correct. The counties have their approved plans in place. They posted their guidelines on their website. Some of it follows the same hotel guidelines for, cleaning and sanitizing the rentals. And but they're officially now open for business. So, we're slowly starting to come back.
Very good. That's a great news. Great news for all of us. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we are close to the end of our meeting. I won't have time to start a subject and finish. So I'm not going to start it if I cannot finish. We know that we have our meeting set for 1 hour, and the speaker has their schedule set for after the meeting. So next Wednesday, actually Thursday, next Thursday at 1 p.m., I'm going to address the contacts that we can use it on Form Simplicity. And I will also going to bring how to calculate the cap rate. Okay? So, and I invite you guys again, Loan Depot and Florida Escrow, to be with us if you guys can prepare something for next week. And our agents, guys, if you have any questions, please send the question to us, send it to me, and I will address it to Anthony so Anthony can prepare something if it's related to title, if it's related to loans, mortgages. I will send it to Loan Depot and they will prepare something to clarify all our questions, all the questions that we have. All right, guys, great. Thank you. It was a great meeting. I love it. This conversation was very good. Lori, once again, thank you very much for your participation, your answers. And Anthony, thank you for your updates. We appreciate it. And everybody else that were here with us, thank you. And I see you guys next week. Have a great week.